Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Farnham Park. We are coming to you live, and today it's the final game of this weekend tournament of the National Softball League, and this is the NSL 1 championship game. It will take place between the Pioneers, who are the reigning champions, and the Knights, who have never played in this championship game. And so Pioneers are going to try to defend their crown, but the Knights are going to try to topple them over. And my name is Tim Collins. Once again, I'm joined by Sarah Vertigan. We just saw an exciting NSL 2 championship game. And what do you expect from these two teams in this game?
I'm expecting this to be... Sorry about that, guys. I'm expecting this to be a much closer game. An awful lot of hitting, some amazing plays. Both these teams are red hot. And the Windsor Knights in particular, coming into this, from what I've seen them this weekend, are riding on a bit of a high. So this should be very competitive.
Yeah, we're going to see a team which features some power hitters on both sides. We saw the Pioneers hit home run after home run just a couple of hours ago on this very field. And earlier today, the first game that we broadcast, Wolfgang Walter had 3 home runs, as that was for the Knights as they defeated the Chromies. Of course, Steve Hazard had 3 home runs in his game for the Pioneers today. And so the action is about ready to begin. As you see, the two teams are huddling along the third baseline. I think that they might want to be doing some introductions. I think that's what they're going to try to do here.
I think we'll have that first, and then both these teams will want to get on top as early as they can in this game.
And so we are going to just sit back and listen to the PA announcements here at Farnham Park.
Welcome to the NSL 1 National Final between Pioneers and Windsor Knights. Woohoo! All right, so we're going to announce the teams. Let's give them a big cheer as they come out on the diamond. First, the visitors team. Playing second base and leading off, Dan Bellow. Second in the lineup, sporting third base position, Casey Pettit-Caster. At shortstop and third place, Steve Hazard. Playing first base, Jane Pettit-Caster. Following Jane, in pitching position, Dan Spinks. Holding up the left side of the diamond, Liv Kivany. Playing left field, Sean Spinks. On the right side of the diamond, playing center right field, Ruth McIntosh. And in right field, Steve Rice. Final player on the field, playing catching position to her husband, Kelly Spinks. And the esteemed Pioneers bench, Amy Rice. Gary Hoxby. Vicky Chapman. Jenny Bull. And finally, Lita Siegel. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 Pioneers team, best of luck. And now, coming first position at Nationals weekend, we have the home team, the Windsor Knights. Leading off at shortstop, Max Zaharan. Playing center left field, Kim Hendry. It's her birthday, everybody! Happy birthday, Kim! Playing in right field, Kelvin Harrison.
Well, you heard it, folks. The Windsor Knights have qualified for the European Championships. They are playing in the NSL 1 Championships for the first time, so it's been a big weekend for them before we even start playing this game. And you heard the lineups.
This should be quite a final.
Yeah, well, last year it was between the Pioneers and the Chromies, and it was a 24-20 outcome in favor of the Pioneers. There you see Michael Lee meeting with Adam Haywood. This is the coaches' meeting at home plate. As this ball game is about ready to begin, we've had wonderful weather here in Farnham Park. The sun has been shining all day. It's been a bit windy, but that's par for the course around here. And the sun is still shining brightly. About 7 minutes after 5 p.m. And we are ready to begin as the Knights have taken the field. Once again, defensively for the Knights, they are going to have Wolfgang Walter is pitching, Kim Miller is catching, Baba Herzkin playing third, Max Zerhusen is playing shortstop, Aaron Thomas at second, Natalie Woolley is playing first. The outfield from left to right, Neil Sylvester is in left, Kim Hendry in left center, Kelvin Harrison in right center, and Anna Waring is in right field. Wolfgang Walter. In fact, Walter and Herzkin and Max Zerhusen, they are 3 members of the German national softball team that play regularly here in Great Britain.
Yeah, we'll see there are an awful lot of representatives from not only the German national team here, but also the Great Britain slow pitch squad.
Yeah, they're well represented on the Pioneers side. And here we go, Dan Bello, right-hand hitter with power, the second baseman. He's going to step up, and we expect a heavyweight fight in this one. So Wolfgang Walter's first pitch. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. That ball landing on the batter's box. You could see it kicking the chalk away. And this one is even further into the box. 2 balls, no strikes on Dan Bello. Casey Pettit-Caster batting second, Steve Hazard third. There's a line shot, center field sinking quickly, and it gets under the glove of Kim Hendry in left center field, goes all the way to the fence. Bello is streaking around the bases and stops at third. He is there. That's the way this game starts.
It's a good recovery there from the outfield, nice and fast, holding down Bello on third base, and he would definitely be looking to go home there if he'd had the opportunity. Very aggressive base runner, good speed.
You see how that ball kicking all the way against the fence. Bello very quick, as you mentioned. And so now Casey Pettit-Caster playing third base, batting second in the lineup, very deep in the box. And that's a strike on the outside edge. Wolfgang Walter.
It's an excellent power hitter to all fields.
There's a chopper back to the box. The play to first base is made, and Bello has to stay put. That's a big play.
As I kill off another batter with my commentary.
Of course, you still have Steve Hazard, who steps into the plate now. Well, all I've seen Hazard do today is hit home runs. I know that he's played more than just one game today, but the one game I saw, that's what he did.
That's what he does.
Yeah, it's not uncommon.
Massive threat at the plate.
That's ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Runner on third, Dan Bello. There's 1 out. This is the NSL 1 championship game. And a high drive deep to center field. Goodbye. 2-0 Pioneers.
He made that look easy.
It's just a smooth swing. It's such easy power, it seems.
Sometimes it doesn't even look like a full swing. It's just natural timing.
Let's watch the replay on this. Check where the pitch came in from Wolfgang Walter. Right down the center of the strike zone. No chance. That ball soaring off into the sky. Beautiful blue sky that it is. 2-0 as Jane Pettit-Caster steps up to the plate. And this one is lined into right. That gets down. And Jane Pettit-Caster's got a single.
Very nice. Powerful line drive there.
And now Dan Spinks, another home run threat. One out in the inning. Sorry.
So it's tough. It's always tough work for the pitchers in these games because it's power after power. Most of the batters can hit anywhere they want on the field. It's tough.
Well, certainly there's no defending a home run. And Dan Spinks looks at a strike. That pitch looked fairly central, perhaps a little too high. There's a ground ball left side, and it's gloved by Terhusen. He whirls and throws to second. That is a fantastic play by Max Terhusen, the shortstop.
Superb pivot on one leg. Get around and get that ball accurately to two.
Usual to have a left-handed shortstop, but that helped him in that case because that was hit to his glove side, and he's able to stab it. Look at him throw from the outfield grass.
It definitely makes that shot between third base and shortstop something you have to think about a bit harder because it closes it down a bit.
Now Liz Keaveney takes the ball. 2 down in the inning. Dan Spinks now replaces Jane Pettit-Castor at first as she was forced at second on that play. 2-0 Pioneers, top of the first. This ball is popped up. Center of the diamond, and Terhusen with the catch to end the inning. All in all, not so bad. Only the 2 runs cross for the Pioneers. And we go to the bottom of the first inning in the championship game. 2-0 Pioneers over the Knights. Live from Farnham Park.
Baseball Outlet is BSUK's preferred equipment partner for all your baseball and softball equipment needs. Visit baseballoutlet.co.uk and they'll get you and your team sorted.
Back at Farnham Park, Dan Spinks is just now departing from the dugout and heading out to the pitcher's circle. He will be working with catcher Kelly Spinks, who's also his wife, of course. Casey Pettit-Castor at third. Steve Hazard is at short. Dan Bello at second. Jane Pettit-Castor at first. The outfield, left field is Sean Spinks. Left center, Liz Keaveney. In right center, Steve Rice. And in right field, Ruth McIntosh. The lineup for the Windsor Knights will start with Max Terhusen, and then Kim Hendry bats second, Kelvin Harrison third, Natalie Woolley fourth, Wolfgang Walter, who had 3 home runs earlier today, bats fifth, Kim Miller sixth, Aaron Thomas seventh, Barbara Hertzkin eighth, Neil Sylvester ninth, and Anna Waring batting 10th. Pioneers leading 2-0. This is the championship game. This game is not a timed game. It will go 7 innings, barring the 10-run, or well, not 10-run, but the mercy rule. In some leagues, in baseball leagues, you get 10-run rule. Here, I believe it's 20 after 4 and 15 after 5, 12 after 6, if I remember correctly. I have a feeling we're not going to need to worry about that with these two teams today.
I think we're going all 7 here.
And so Max Terhusen, who, like Mark Griffin of the Tempest team we saw, he's a left-handed thrower and a right-handed batter. And he steps up to the plate to lead things off against Dan Spinks.
Dan Spinks, one of the best defensive pitchers you'll see. Nothing gets past him up the middle.
Yeah, he's definitely had to stab a couple of line drives back to the circle earlier today, and he handled them beautifully. 2 balls and no strikes on Terhusen. He's also an excellent control pitcher. He struggled a little bit with the wind earlier today, but right now the wind has died down to about normal levels. It's breezy, but I wouldn't say it's windy. And now there's a strike, 2-1.
Yeah, Dan will know exactly what his batter's looking for and do his utmost best not to give it to them.
High fly ball, deep center field. This is way back, and it is gone. Home run for Terhusen.
He did well to get that deep pitch that far over the fence.
It looked like he really had to slice down on that ball. It was up high, and those are tough pitches to stay on top of.
Very tough. He
and
did
not
well.
pop up. And he circles the bases. Look at him go and get that pitch up in the zone, and it just kept on going over the head of Liz Keaveney and over the fence. So a run on the board right away for the Knights, and that's got to feel good. Their first time ever in this championship game. And the hitter is Kim Hendry, and she looks at a strike.
And more power here at the plate.
Spinks looking in. And that one is too high. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's definitely going to try and get them to fish at some deep ones as much as he can.
You hear the lively atmosphere. This ball hit in the air to center field. And Steve Rice makes a nice running catch as he had to reach out across his body while cutting across the outfield. I think you're going to see also some very good defensive plays in this game. These are probably the two best defensive teams that we've seen this weekend.
Going to see some pretty impressive tracking of the ball in the air and on the ground. Yeah, I expect this to be a bit of a fight. And here comes yet another power batter. Kelvin is another batter you could expect to see put some over the fence.
Kelvin Harrison, we did see that multiple times this weekend. And he looks at a strike. Coming right through there.
He's also one of the fastest players around the bases.
That pitch too short. 1 ball, 1 strike. There's 1 out, nobody on. 2-1 the score. Inside. 2 balls and a strike. Nobody on base. That's too high. 3-1. Line shot past Steve Hazard as he, I think, was caught a little bit flat-footed. And that ball gets through the outfield, goes all the way to the fence. And Harrison, as you mentioned, very quickly around the bases. He stops at second base.
I think there was some serious pace on that hit, actually, probably more than we could tell from here. That left the bat fast. And
it was hit extremely hard. You're right about that.
Big quick pass, Steve, there on his non-glove side.
It looked like Steve was anticipating the ball to be hit to his left on that. As I look at the replay, it looked like he actually was.
Yeah, it bent a bit.
So Natalie Woolley with a runner at second base, 1 out. That's a tying run out there. And she smacks it into left center. That's down for a hit.
Kelvin a little slow to read that one off second base, and that was always down.
He wanted to make absolute sure. There's only 1 out in the inning. You still have Wolfgang Walter now coming to the plate, so you certainly do not want to make an out on the base paths ahead of Walter, a guy who seems to hit home runs at will. He had a 3 home run game earlier today.
Yeah, I would expect him to definitely score at least one of these runners.
And that pitch is inside for a ball. That ball is smoked to another planet, but foul by about 200 feet.
Yeah, that's one for the groundsman tomorrow.
That ball, that's going to end up in a different county. Do you have counties here in London?
we're not in London.
Yeah, right. See, there you go. That was going to end up in London.
We're in
That's how
another
far
county.
That one went. Yeah, we're in another county. 2 balls and a strike on Walter. There it goes, high and deep to left center field. This one even further than Steve Hazard's. I think we have a battle of home runs hitters. It is now 4-2.
This could be expensive on the ball side.
Wolfgang Walter with a 3-run home run. So now I've seen him hit 4 home runs today. Steve Hazard and Wolfgang Walter have been putting on a hitting clinic. Let's take a look at this on the replay. Look at that big leg kick. So much power. He really rotates the hips, extends the arms, as much power as you could possibly get. In fact, he wants so much extension on his swing that he wraps the top hand over his bottom hand. It's one of the hitters who does that. And boy, it sure works well for him.
Yeah, he has an unusually high knee lift on that, but it works for him.
That pitch was a ball to Kim Miller. It's almost, if you've ever seen video of Sadaharu Oh, the Japanese slugger from, that's maybe an obscure reference here in Britain, but you know, he's a guy who would basically stand on one leg as the pitch was coming in.
It's not something you necessarily coach, but some players can handle it and make it work for them. It's unusual, but it's definitely effective.
It's definitely working for Walter. There's a strike. The count is 2-1 to Kim Miller. Still only 1 out in the inning. There's a hard ground ball to Hazard. He's able to recover after a tough hop, and he throws to first in time. That's the 2nd out of the inning.
Yeah, he can get away with at least 2 hops, Steve, and still throw a runner out.
Yeah, the infield here is hard, and the ball sometimes takes tricky bounce just as it gets to him, and Hazard that time with one hand almost had it roll up his arm and away, but the ball stayed close enough to him that he could recover and make the play to first. So 2 down for Aaron Thomas. And Dan Spinks wants Dan Bello, the second baseman, to stand behind second. So a shift of sorts on Thomas. See if Thomas can try to shoot that hole on the right side. The pitch is outside for a ball. Outfield is more or less straight away, but on the infield, there's a huge hole on the right side. This ball hit in the air to left field, playable, and caught by Liz Keaveney. That's the third out of the inning, but 2 home runs, a solo shot by Terhusen and a 3-run shot by Walter. And 4 runs cross the plate for the Knights. They lead 4-2 in the championship game. We go to the second inning here from Farnham Park.
Hit the Pitch is Baseball Softball UK's national softball participation program and a great way to bring your organization closer together. Whether you want a single day of softball fun or want to set up a league of your own, BSUK's staff and resources are here to help. For more information, visit hitthepitch.com.
Top of the second inning here in Farnham Park. The Knights 4, the Pioneers 2. And it will be Sean Spinks, Ruth McIntosh, and Steve Rice batting for the Pioneers here in the top half against Wolfgang Walter.
Sean is the third Spinks in the lineup. The family affair today.
Yeah, and there were a bunch of little kids with Spinks jerseys running around.
Next generation.
The future being made today. And the pitch to Sean Spinks is inside for a ball. Sean is the left fielder in this game. And he swings and foul tips it. Strike 1. Big cut for him.
Pretty sure that Sean will be looking to work the sun in the face of the left fielders here.
There's a ground ball towards short. Terhusen fields, throws to first. Got him by half a step. 1 down. That's a big play. Really, anytime an out is recorded, it's a big play.
Especially a leadoff batter.
Yeah, you just expect that these teams are so good at hitting. They can explode offensively at any time. Now Ruth McIntosh. And that pitch is too high, ball 1.
Ruth, a terrific line hitter. Left or right field line.
Now she has a very quiet stance. And that one socked down the line, fair. That's a base hit for McIntosh. Takes a funny bounce, and a good play by Sylvester to prevent that ball from getting past him. So McIntosh is on first base with a single. That will bring up Steve Rice.
Yeah, she demonstrated a perfect example of that there.
Rice, left-hand hitter. He's the right center fielder, and he hits a little chopper foul ball as it made contact with the bat a second time while he was still in the box. Strike 1. Well, that would have been a huge break for the Knights had they been able to get an easy out.
Those short shots that stay in aren't always easy outs. So.
Yeah, this is also true. There's
Sometimes
a ball.
they could just sit there.
And they can also induce panic when you try to rush and pick it up and make a bad throw.
Especially with speed on first base and speed here at the plate as well. That can throw all kinds of chaos.
Kelly Spinks on deck, the 2-1 pitch. Smack to center field. It's hanging up, however, and it's caught by Kim Hendry. That ball was hit very hard, and it had backspin on it. I think it tailed right to her.
So Kelly here, a good all-fields hitter. She's a smart hitter.
So 2 down. Ruth McIntosh on first base, and Kelly Spinks at the plate. That's a ball. Swinging and a foul tip. That's strike 1.
Just had somebody's pet join us in the commentary box here.
Ball 2. 2 balls, 1 strike. There are 2 down here in the second inning. Line shot caught by Walter. Well, you were talking about good defensive pitchers. Wolfgang Walter, no slouch himself, and that's a scoreless inning.
She hit that hard.
Hit very hard, and a good inning for the Knights. They lead 4-2 as we go to the bottom of the second inning here in Farnham.
BSUK's Academy is designed to help young players turn the off-season into an opportunity to become better, stronger, and fitter athletes. With opportunities for both baseball and softball players, as well as elite players through the High Performance Academy, there's a program for all skill levels. Information about this year's Academy, as well as High Performance Academy tryouts, is coming soon on bsuk.com.
To the bottom of the second inning, Wolfgang Walter snaring that shot off the bat of Kelly Spinks to end the top half of the second inning, and now the Knights can try to go back to work offensively against Dan Spinks and the Pioneers. This is the championship game. Barbara Hertzkin, Neil Sylvester, and Anna Waring, that's 8, 9, 10 in the batting lineup, will come up against Dan Spinks.
These teams don't really have a bottom of the order as you might expect it. They're all strong batters.
Pretty circular.
Yeah.
There are no soft spots. There's no escape hatch anywhere in there. So Barbara Hertzkin, third baseman, and the pitch from Spinks. That's a ball. Spinks allowed 3 runs on 2 home runs in the first inning, one by Terhusen and one by Walter for 3 runs. That's inside, ball 2. That one goes tumbling into the strike zone for strike 1. 2 balls and 1 strike. Just a little bit inside, ball 3. 3-1. A walk would be huge for the Knights here. Start off a rally. There's a strike on the outside corner. Spinks able to bring the count to full, 3-2.
Yeah, he won't let you get too far ahead.
A ground ball towards short. Hazard gets a nice easy bounce, throws to first in time for the first out of the inning. That was probably the easiest chance of all the balls that have been hit on the ground to Steve Hazard.
Yep. Nice hop, perfect.
And so now Neil Sylvester will step up to the plate.
Another dangerous batter here. He can hit anywhere. He's got good speed. Runs the bases well.
Suddenly the wind picks up, howling through the air. A drive high in the air, deep left field, back to the fence. And it is gone over the fence. Neil Sylvester hit a home run yesterday, and I heard some of his teammates commenting that it was just about his first home run of the year. Well, he's done it again today.
You don't see a lot of that from Neil. Obviously, he's pumped up when necessary, brings it.
Let's watch that on the replay, shall we? And I just did mention, you see the jersey blowing in the wind, and he got a pitch in his wheelhouse and lifted it up into that jet stream. And it blew over the head of Sean Spinks and over the fence. Home run. 5-2 Knights, and now Anna Waring will step up to the plate. Third home run of the game for the Knights. Waring takes a strike. And that pitch is a ball. Spinks thought he should have gotten the call. Count 1 ball, 1 strike. There's a chopper to the right side. Bello, nice easy hop, throws to first in time, 2 down.
Yeah, good hands there, making sure.
And now the top of the order, Max Terhusen. Terhusen hit a high drive that sailed off over the fence to start the ball game for the Knights in the bottom of the first inning. So he's 1 for 1. 2 outs, nobody on, 5-2 Knights. We're in the second inning. And that pitch is outside.
Brings us back to the top of the order for the Knights.
That's too deep. 2 balls, no strikes. Kim Hendry on deck. Should Terhusen reach base. That's in there for a strike. 2-1. And there's another high drive, deep center field, back to the fence, and gone. 2 home runs for Terhusen in this ball game. That makes it 6-2. 2 solo shots in this inning. That's 4 home runs in the game for the Knights.
It's pretty impressive. And again, it didn't really look like he really put everything into that.
Just a nice, easy swing.
Yeah, absolutely. Relaxed.
I think the first home run he hit,
yeah, he got through that well.
yeah, you see that nice and relaxed. He lets go with the top hand. That's like Walt Reniak style, I guess you could say. 6-2 as Kim Hendry takes a strike. 4 home runs, 3 of them solo shots. There's a line drive to Steve Hazard. He makes the catch to his right for the final out, but 2 runs cross. And at the end of 2, it's the Knights 6, the Pioneers 2, live from Farnham Park.
BSUK's Academy is designed to help young players turn the off-season into an opportunity to become better, stronger, and fitter athletes. With opportunities for both baseball and softball players, as well as elite players through the High Performance Academy, there's a program for all skill levels. Information about this year's Academy, as well as High Performance Academy tryouts, is coming soon on bsuk.com.
Top of the 3rd inning is about to begin here in Farnham Park. The championship game of the NSL 1. The Knights and the Pioneers locking horns, and the Knights have a 6-2 lead. The Knights scoring all their runs on home runs. Actually, all the runs in the game for both teams are on home runs. And we are going to see the top of the order. Dan Bello, Casey Pettit-Castor, and Steve Hazard. It was Hazard who hit a 2-run home run for the 2 runs in the 1st inning for the Pioneers. The Knights answered right back with 2 home runs in the bottom half of that inning, and then they had 2 more home runs in the bottom half of the 2nd inning as well. Wolfgang Walter is positioning his outfield where he would like them to go, and Dan Bello up at the plate takes a strike.
I'm pretty sure we'll see the Pioneers add to their 2 runs here.
There's a high fly ball, deep center field. Way back goes Keaveney, and it is off the ball, off the fence, still in play. Bello racing hard all the way, will stop at 3rd base.
Twice in 2 innings he's done that. Pretty much exactly the same play, same hit.
I think that, and I misnamed her, it's Kim Hendry in center field. I think that she thought that ball was going to go over the fence.
I think she then lost it slightly in the sun.
And also maybe didn't want to run into the fence trying to catch it, which I can also understand. So now Casey Pettit-Castor, ground ball, base hit down the line. That's fair. And will score a run. It goes all the way to the wall and rattles around. Pettit-Castor is going to stop at 2nd base with a double. So the score is now 6-3. Here come the Pioneers. No lead in this league is safe, of course, especially with these 2 teams.
That is a great double. It's just what you want with nobody on 1. Hard hit down the left field line. Easy walk in for the runner on 3.
And Steve Hazard will be the hitter. Hazard hit a ball that I think is still flying somewhere. And the pitch, that's a little bit too low. Hazard, I've seen Hazard have 4 at-bats, and he's hit 4 home runs in them today. That's a strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a ground ball back through the middle, and it sneaks into center field. Pettit-Castor is going to go to 3rd base and stop there. That ball was deflected by Walter and then also got past Serhusen.
That'll do nicely.
Hazard, didn't hit it out of the ballpark, so I guess you could call that a win for Wolfgang Walter. But now runners on 1st and 3rd for Jane Pettit-Castor. Still nobody out in the inning. Tying run at the plate.
Yeah, if you can hold that runner on 2nd there, hold her on 3 with Steve Hazard hitting, that you're doing well.
Was a line drive down the right field line, foul and out of play, strike 1. Well, the scoreless inning in the 2nd. Walter would love to replicate that, but it's in jeopardy here. Fly ball deep right field. This ball is going to be caught. Nice running catch by the right fielder, Kelvin Harrison. And both runners tag up and advance. That makes it a 6-4 game. However, that was an excellent play in right field.
Catch. He's very fast. If he can get there, good confident catch, pretty much on the fence.
Let's watch this on a replay and see what we can see. It was deep to right field. He had to really go a long way. Oh, that's an excellent catch in right field.
That was quite a hit.
And excellent camera work also by
cameraman.
Yeah, by James. Thanks, James. The pitch to Dan Spinks is a ball. Two down in the inning. Excuse me, one out in the inning. That was the first out. And this ball is popped up left side. Serhusen makes the catch. That's the second out of the inning. That's a big out to get Dan Spinks on a pop out without a run scoring. He was representing the tying run, and now Liz Keaveney will step up to the plate.
Those pop-ups can get away from you, especially with literally the sun right in his face there, Max. You did well.
Well, 6-4 the score, the pitch on the way. That's a strike. And the next one from Valter. Fly ball, right center field. This is playable and caught by Harrison. And that will end the inning. 2 runs do cross, but the damage is limited there for Wolfgang Valter and the Knights. They lead this game 6-4. We go to the bottom of the 3rd inning here in the NSL 1 championship game live from Farnham Park.
Baseball Softball UK's popular Baseball's Coming Home t-shirts are now available online and at Farnham Park. Visit BaseballSoftballUK.com and click the homepage box, or visit Home Plate Bar and Kitchen at Farnham to get yours today.
Page box or visit Home Plate Bar and Kitchen at Farnham to get yours today.
To the bottom of the 3rd inning, the Knights leading the Pioneers by a score of 6-4. And you know, they used to say years ago, you make a nice play, you lead off the next inning. Well, Kelvin Harrison made a nice play.
Yeah, he'll be pleased with that one.
So he will lead things off. Harrison, the 3rd in the order, then Natalie Woolley and Wolfgang Valter. You wonder, you get the feeling that, you know, this is one of those games, if Steve Hazard and Wolfgang Valter lock horns and trying to match each other with home runs, the one time that one of those guys doesn't hit a home run might be the difference in the game.
And you've got to look out for all the rest of the potential home run hitters
Yeah,
as well.
well, we've also had, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 home runs from the Knights. Max Serhusen with 2, Neil Sylvester with 1. There's a hard ground ball, 2 hops picked by the shortstop Hazard. He throws to first in time.
Oh, you won't see that from Kelvin very often. But there you go.
That was a nice play by Hazard. He actually looked like he kind of olayed it just a little bit, but the ball went right into his glove and
jumped on him a little bit there.
So Natalie Woolley, bottom of the 3rd inning. Remember, this is not a timed game. It will go 7 innings. And that's a strike. Nice pitch from Dan Spinks as he gets ahead 0-1 on Woolley. I've been calling her Woolley. I think it's Woolley. Excuse me.
Correct.
Line drive to left field. That's a base hit. You can see Sean Spinks shading his eyes from the sun, but Woolley will stop at first base. So my apologies for mispronounced names.
She'll hit those all day long.
Yeah, that was a rocket. And you can see the whole time Sean Spinks in left field, he's got the shades down, but he still has his hand in front of his face. And it took him a second to register that that ball was hit right towards him. So Woolley is at first base with 1 out. Now Wolfgang Valter. And the pitch from Spinks is outside and low, ball 1. Valter had a 3-run home run. That's the only home run of the 4 that was with runners aboard.
There's a reason Natalie's batting in front of Wolfie.
And ball 3. Kim Miller on deck. The walk would be 2 bases here. And there it is. So Valter draws the walk. And then that puts Woolley at third and Walter at second as the walk is 2 bases for Guys. And Kim Miller will step up to the plate.
Solid single here from Kim will score both these runners.
Only 1 out. That's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. The Knights have been taking the tough pitches from Spinks. There's a high fly ball to deep left field, playable for Sean Spinks. He finds it in the sun. Both runners tag and will advance. That brings home another run for the Knights as they lead 7-4.
He handled that really well. That was tough. And
Sacrifice
it's only
fly.
Get harder. As the sun drops on this field, it gets tougher and tougher. And third base as well is, I know, is particularly unpleasant in these conditions.
Yeah, that required a lot of concentration from Sean Spinks in left field. And now Aaron Thomas. And they put the shift on him again. There's 3 infielders on the left side. Take a look at the defensive alignment. Well, you can kind of see it. Runner at third. Pitches outside, 2 balls and no strikes. 7-4, the Knights leading the Pioneers. We're in the bottom of the third. And a ground ball to the left side. Steve Hazard backhands it, throws to first. In time, the inning is over. Well, the shift worked.
That's the danger of trying to go left field there. Obviously, you've got a very strong defense.
So we will go to the 4th inning here in the championship game of the National Softball League 1. It's the Knights 7, the Pioneers 4, live from Farnham Park.
Baseball Softball UK. Looking to promote your business to thousands of baseball and softball players each year? New sponsorship opportunities are available with Baseball Softball UK, including great new signage at Farnham Park. Advertising with BSUK is a home run for your company, so get in touch today. Speak to a commercial team member for more information.
First pitch to Sean Spinks was a ball, and the second one was also a ball. The count 2-0. Oh, these are actually, right, these are not even, these don't count. These are just the warm-up pitches, I believe, right? Everybody's standing there as if it counts, but no, those were warm-up pitches. So forget everything you just heard me say. When we're scrambling around in between innings, you lose track of some of the things, and you look up and you see a guy standing in the batter's box, and you think to yourself, all right, he's there. But no, now the first pitch is coming, and it's a strike. Sean Spinks is the hitter, followed by Ruth McIntosh and Steve Rice. Ground ball, hard hit, and it takes a big hop and rolls up the arm of Sirhusen, and Sean Spinks is going to be safe at first base. That was a pretty good recovery by Baba Hertzkin at third, but there was no chance. Once it popped high into the air like that, they had to wait for it to come down, and Spinks is aboard for Ruth McIntosh.
Okay, Ruth will be looking for this right field line here.
And I think they're just checking on Max Sirhusen if he's okay. That ball hit him very hard. It was a ground ball that was hit very sharply. It looked like it hit him in the forearm. Adam Haywood wanted to go and check and make sure his shortstop is okay. They're going to give him a couple of practice throws. It must have hit him on the throwing arm.
Yeah, it can make you feel pretty numb for a couple of minutes. Looks okay.
Maybe it hit him on the hand. A couple practice tosses, and he says everything's fine. So Ruth McIntosh stepping up to the plate. Sean Spinks is on first base. There's nobody out. We're in the 4th inning. Pitch is too high.
She gets this outside pitch. She's going hard to right field.
That's outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Wolfgang Walter. Behind 2-0, the pitch. That's a little bit too low. Hit the plate. 3 balls and no strikes. McIntosh wanting to confirm that. Here it comes. Ball 4.
Yeah, Wolfgang knew exactly what she was looking for then, was trying to stay away from it and in doing that caused the walk there.
And so now Steve Rice, and an opportunity here for the Pioneers. They trail by 3. Rice is the tying run. And he rips it into right field, and it is down for a base hit. Sean Spinks racing around third, headed to the plate. He will score without a throw. It's an RBI single off the bat of Steve Rice, and it is a 7-5 game now. McIntosh stopped at second base as it was a good throw from the outfield. They allowed the run to score and prevented Ruth McIntosh from crossing to third on the play.
Yeah, keeping the force on that.
So Kelly Spinks, who hit a line drive back to the pitcher her first time, and she pops one into right field, foul territory perhaps. Nope, it's fair ball, caught. Tagging from second, going to third is McIntosh.
That holds Steve Rice on first base.
As Anna Waring she was positioned perfectly. That's the first out of the inning, and now the top of the order, Dan Bello. He represents the go-ahead run, home run power. And the pitch is a strike on the inside corner.
Let's see if he goes for that shot third time in a row to center right there.
High fly ball, deep left field, way back near the fence, and gone. Nope, it's not gone. It bounced up against the fence. 1 run scores, and that's it. It's really hard to tell sometimes, especially the ball was hit so hard and the wind blowing out in that direction, but it must have ricocheted right at the bottom of the fence.
Yeah, Neil got onto that one pretty quickly. I think basically Dan spotted that Kim Hendry had moved slightly around more into centre field to cover that shot he'd hit twice and went into the gap she'd left behind.
So it's a double, and the score is now 7-6. Tying run at third, go-ahead run at second. Fly ball, left center field rather. The catch is made. Tagging from third, coming home to score is Steve Rice, and we are tied at 7.
This is the close game we were expecting.
Yeah. Bello stayed put at second base. So the game-tying RBI off the bat of Casey Pettit-Castor. Tie ball game at 7.
Anything here from Steve Hazard will likely to score down with his speed.
Well, Hazard has homered and then hit a hard ground ball and was able to reach. Pitch was a strike. Walter trying to keep those pitches down and in. Here it comes. Hard line drive, and it's off the glove of Hertzgen. She picks it up, steps on third, but it's not a force play. Hazard will stop at first base. So everybody's safe, first and third.
She did brilliantly to stop that ball. It came straight out of the sun at a serious pace. She did so well.
So Bello now at third. I said that she stepped on third. Obviously she did not. She was very far away from third base. No chance to step on third. From the angle I'm sitting, it looked like that. Here's the pitch to Jane Pettit-Castor. That's a strike. So now, first and third. Bello is at third. Hazard is at first. That pitch is a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dan Spinks is on deck. Tie ball game 7-7. We're in the 4th. That's outside. 2 balls and a strike. Fly ball to right center field. Right at Harrison, who makes the catch to end the inning. And we've got a tie ball game as 3 runs cross the plate. We will go to the bottom of the 4th. 7-7 is the score live from Farnham Park. We move to the bottom of the 4th inning. It looks like we have some changes.
Looks like we've got Vicky Chapman coming in here.
Just one change. Three.
Interesting times, and we have Vicky Chapman, number 23, taking the field. And Brian Spinks continue pitch number 10. It seems like a lot happened, but we only have one change. Staying corrected, there's been more than one change. Looking to centre left field, we've got Jenny Bull replacing Liz Keaveney. And in centre right, that looks like Fleeta Seagull, who's come in for Steve Ross.
Okay, we are back. A bit of housekeeping to take care of. There are 3 defensive changes. Vicky Chapman, the new catcher. Fleeta Chu Siegel is in the game in right center field for Steve Rice. And the other change is Jenny Ball has gone into the game in left center field for Liz Keaveney. So 2/4, well, a half of the outfield has been changed. The first pitch was a strike. The next one is a ball. The batter is Baba Hertzkin. Tied at 7, bottom of the 4th inning of the championship game. Dan Spinks looks in and deals ball 2.
It's no surprise to see some of these changes, because when you've got a bench like that, you're going to use it.
There's a strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here it comes. That is drilled to deep left center field, way back near the fence. And goodbye.
That was huge. What a hit.
Barbara Hertzkin hits it out of the ballpark, and the Knights take an 8-7 lead. It had the sound, it had the angle.
She's thrilled with that.
And a huge shout out to Baba Hertzkin.
Look at the young fans getting in on the high five action. Take another look at this on the replay.
Yeah, let's see if follow that one up, Neil.
She saw all her teammates hitting home runs and decided that looks like fun. I want to do it too. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's the 5th home run of the game for the Knights. And Neil Sylvester, who has a home run himself, will step up to the plate. Smacked hard on a hop. Nice pick at third by Casey Pettit-Caster. Throw to first. Is in time. Very close play. Well, that was top-notch defense right there.
Yeah, that was special.
Let's watch this on the replay. Hard hit, one hopper to Casey Pettit-Caster, and she threw it across the diamond to her sister, who kept the foot on the bag. Oh, sorry. Never mind. My apologies, her partner. When you're improvising and you just make bad assumptions, that's what happens. My apologies. Anna Waring. A comebacker, hot shot fielded by Spinks. He stumbles a bit, throws to first, not in time.
She got enough on that. She hit it really hard, got away from Dan a bit, and she's pretty quick.
And so, Waring is at first base, and now Max Terhusen 2 for 2 with 2 solo home runs. Well, now he has a base runner. There's 1 out in the inning. That pitch was a strike. And that pitch outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. That's lined into center field, a base hit. And it's going to skip all the way through to the fence. Waring is headed to third. She will stop there at Terhusen at second with a double. Second and third for the Knights as they keep pounding out hit after hit. And, well, offensive ball game is what we were expecting. That's what we're getting so far. Second and third for Kim Hendry.
Yeah, Kim will be looking to add to these hits here.
Pitch is a strike on the outside corner, nothing in one. Hendry is 0 for 2. She's looking for her first hit in this game. That pitch too high, 1 ball, 1 strike. We're getting to the part of the ball game where you're going to hear a lot of noise on almost every pitch. Ground ball pulled foul, that's strike 2, 1 and 2.
Good idea from Kim there. Just not quite the execution. She'll want to get this ball as far away from first base as she can. Give herself the time to get there.
One ball, 2 strikes on Kim Hendry. Here it comes from Dan Spinks. High fly balls to right center field, playable, and the catch is made. Both runners tag up. The throw coming to third, not in time. And a good stop by Casey Pettit-Castor. Run scores, and that makes it 9-7 as Waring crosses the plate on the sacrifice fly. Hendry will get an RBI. Serhusen moves to third. There are 2 down, and now Kelvin Harrison, the hitter.
Another danger batter here.
9-7, the Knights leading. Remember, the Knights have never been in this championship game. They did come from behind after trailing initially, although it was only 2-0. Still a lot of ball game left, but that pitch is in for a strike to Kelvin Harrison. Natalie Woolley is on deck. That's inside.
Pretty sure Kelvin will be keen to join the home run party.
Yeah, it has been a home run party. 5 dingers for the Knights. That ball hit a mile high into left center field. It's going to stay in the ballpark as Jenny Ball has to wait about 10 seconds for that thing to come down before she makes the catch. However, 2 more runs cross the plate for the Knights, and they lead by a score of 9-7 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning live from Farnham Park. Here we go to the top of the 5th inning. The Knights 9, the Pioneers 7. The Pioneers, the visiting team, will send Dan Spinks, Jenny Ball, and Sean Spinks to the plate against Wolfgang Walter, still throwing his final couple warm-up pitches. Only home run in the game was the 2-run shot by Steve Hazard in the 1st inning for the Pioneers. The Knights have hit 5 home runs. Right now, a short conversation, wahrscheinlich auf Deutsch, between Baba Herzgen and Max Serhusen, the 3rd baseman and 2nd baseman.
Yeah, Dan Spinks, another batter here, very capable of putting the ball over the fence.
And the pitch, that's a strike right through there. And the next one, that's a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike. 5th inning here in the championship game. The culmination of quite a weekend of activity here at Farnham Park. If you've never been to Farnham Park, I suggest you come and visit. That's a drive to left field. It's going to stay in the park, and it takes a bounce and hits the railing and goes over the fence. That's an automatic double. That was a laser beam.
It's a bit unlucky for Dan there, actually. It just caught a bad bit of the fence and went over. Otherwise, he may well have had a triple on that.
You get a nice shot of Kush, who's one of the volunteers, taking some pictures. So he is at 2nd base, is Dan Spinks. Jenny Ball, this is her first at bat as she came into the game for Liz Keaveney. And this ball socked into right center field, and the catch made in right by Waring. Tagging and going to third is Spinks. That's the first out. Nice play by Anna Waring in right field.
They seem very, very ready and very aware, reading the ball well in the outfield.
And now Sean Spinks makes the catch. Sean Spinks steps into the batter's box. I can't look at the replay while trying to call what's going to happen in the field. Then I confuse, across the wires a little bit. There's another drive into left field, and the catch has been made. The umpire signals the catch was made. Spinks tags and heads home. And Adam Haywood is going to come out and argue. I think the umpires are going to get together and decide. It certainly looked to the naked eye like the ball hit his glove, came out, and then hit the ground.
I was pretty sure that hit the ground and went into his glove.
Well, they're going to call it an out. So the run counts. Dan Spinks will score. He was tagging on the play anyway. So that run counts. That was good base running by Dan Spinks, because he waited.
He made sure that.
There's still an argument taking place here. Let's watch it again. Here it is again. A line shot left field, and you see that the home plate umpire made the call. He signaled out. It's his call. The only other umpire in the field is down the right field line. And he made the call. He's got to call it the way he sees it.
Yeah, that's a tough one. Especially with the glove, with the back of the glove facing, sometimes hard to read.
Okay, so Amy Ryan will pinch hit for Ruth McIntosh. Amy Rice, excuse me. Amy Rice is going to pinch hit for Ruth McIntosh. 2 outs. Nobody on, a run is in. It's 9-8. That's a strike. Well, even though Dan Spinks on third base, just to go back to that play, I mean, it certainly could have gone the other way. There's a ground ball. Diving play by the second baseman. Throw to first is not in time, as Valter had run over to cover. And they did not get the out at first. There was a lot of moving parts in that. Great play by Aaron Thomas, who was diving to his left to make that play. And you see Valter was covering at the same time as Natalie Woolley.
Amy running that out really well. It's a good hit to the right side there.
I'm not sure who actually caught the ball, whether it was Valter or Woolley. Valter is the one who had his foot on the bag, and now you have Steve Hazard at the plate. Excuse me, this is Fleeta. Yeah, now Fleeta Chu-Siegel. We're getting all twisted around here. Fleeta Chu-Siegel, who entered the game for Steve Rice. I just looked up, and his batting stance looked similar to Hazard. I wasn't looking at my card, but there's a hot shot. Nice pick by the third baseman. Hertzkin, throw to second is not in time. The ball rolled away from Thomas, the second baseman, and everybody's safe.
She made a fantastic pick at 3 there and threw the ball rather a little bit hard into the dirt there, made it tough for the second baseman. He stopped the ball, but he didn't manage to keep a hold of it.
Well, this inning, boy, some defensive, some close plays. That was a great play by Hertzkin. Her throw was a little bit low, and Thomas couldn't quite scoop it in time.
So we have Vicky Chapman at the plate here, yet another batter. Last year in the national finals, put 2 home runs over the fence.
There's a ground ball to the third baseman, Hertzkin. All she has to do is touch third, and this inning is over. After all of that, only 1 run scores. That was Dan Spinks tagging up on that fly ball that was contested in left field, and that makes the score 9-8 as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning here in the championship game. Already a little bit of controversy here, and hey, this is a storyteller's game, isn't it? You want to tell your children about that time in 2019 in Farnham Park. You saw a great game. Well, we're watching one right now, so we'll be back for the bottom of the 5th here from Farnham Park. To the bottom of the 5th inning. The Knights leading 9-8 over the Pioneers. They're going to try to add to that lead somehow. Natalie Woolley steps up to the plate. Wolfgang Walter, it's a little bit of a disadvantage when you have Walter batting 2nd in the inning. It means you know the maximum he can come up with base runners is only 1. Dan Spinks.
Pretty much so far, Natalie has hit 2 fantastic shots to left side and been on base for Walter both times.
That's true. She's scored 2 runs. The Knights have pounded 5 home runs in the game. There's a ground ball to 3rd, fielded by Pettit Caster. The throw to 1st is in time, 1 down.
Not to be for Natalie this time.
That was smooth. Casey Pettit Caster throwing across to her wife, Jane Pettit Caster. Just want to correct myself on that earlier. My apologies.
They're strong on the corners, those two. They really are.
Yeah, they've played wonderfully. And Wolfgang Walter now steps up with nobody on, and that's, if you're Dan Spinks, that's what you want. It's like Barry Bonds. The only way to pitch to him is with nobody on. That's high. 2 balls, no strikes. He's not going to see anything remotely close to the strike zone, I don't think. 3-0. Oh, that pitch was too good, and he drills it to left field. It's in play, runs up against the fence. Extra bases for Walter, and he cruises into second base with a double.
He'll be happy to hold him into a double there.
Yeah, I think Walter got it just a little bit off the end of the bat. Didn't quite get the full extension that he's looking for.
It was aggressive batting because he had 3 balls on him, and quite often you'd expect somebody maybe take a look at the next pitch, but he went after the first strike he saw.
You get a wonderful shot of a dog out there in left field on the replay. It's a lovely vibe here. We're going to have a pinch hitter. This is Lucy Binding is going to pinch hit. And also some of the outfielders. We were talking about the sun earlier. And that's Fleeta Chu Siegel saying, hey, it's bright out here. Somebody bring me some sunglasses.
Yeah, he's exchanged positions with Sean Spinks.
Where the sun still is on the center right of the diamond.
So they've just switched that up, left field and center right.
Yeah, so
I think Sean's probably
Sean Spinks is in right center field, that's right.
He's had enough of looking into the sun.
Yeah. So Fleeta Chu Spinks is now in left field. Not Spinks, Siegel, excuse me. Fleeta Chu Siegel in left field. Sean Spinks is in right center. Jenny Ball still in left center. And Ruth McIntosh, Amy Rice is in right field as McIntosh had been removed.
Trying to get everybody some game time here because they're all as equally as good as each other.
And it's a championship game. Everybody wants to be a part of it, of course. A pitch inside on Lucy Binding.
Good all-fields batter again here.
And that's popped into short right field, long run, and it lands in front of Amy Rice, a fair ball. Crossing all the way to 3rd is Walter. He takes a look. Nobody was covering the plate, but Vicki Chapman decided to run back and keep an eye on things. So 1st and 3rd as that ball falls in down the right field line, just in that little Bermuda triangle.
Amy Rice dealing well with a nasty hop there that came up quite high on her shoulder.
And now I think we're going to have another pinch hitter. Ben K. Johnson is going to pinch hit for Aaron Thomas.
It looks like they're going with more power here.
First and 3rd, there is only 1 out. That's a strike over the outside edge. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. The next one coming. A high pop into right center field. Sean Spinks racing in, makes the catch. Walter tags from 3rd. He's coming home, and he will score. Sacrifice fly makes it 10-8.
That's an excellent catch. He had to run a long way on that one and run hard.
And he was still looking into the sun. Let's be honest. That
Yeah,
move from left to
round.
right didn't make a huge difference. And he was playing very deep as well.
Yeah, a bit of a pop-up there. He almost got away with it, the batter, but yeah, Sean was onto that in a flash.
And so 2 down, runner at first base is still Lucy Binding, and Baba Hertzkin steps up to the plate. She went deep her last time.
She went over the fence, didn't she?
That's correct.
Yeah, she did.
10-8, the Knights clinging to a lead. They took that lead in the first inning, and they've been ahead ever since. There was an inning where it was tied, but they have not relinquished the lead, I should rephrase. There's a hot shot up the middle, base hit past Steve Hazard into left center field. Binding stops at second base.
Perfect base hit there, nice hard line drive.
And that'll bring up Neil Sylvester. Sylvester with a home run, 1 for 2.
You know if Steve Hazard can't get to it, you've hit it well.
Yeah, Hazard is not wearing the sunglasses. I have a feeling that even on ground balls it's tough to see from that angle, but that one was well to his left. He was not going to get there regardless. Neil Sylvester at the plate, and that's a ball.
Again, another all-fields hitter here.
And there's a chopper to the shortstop. Hazard flips it to third. Pettit-Caster touches the bag, and that will end the inning. Another run crosses, and in fact, there's only been 1/2 inning in this game in which a team did not score, and that was the second inning. And like I mentioned before, sometimes those innings in which you don't score might be the difference. Well, we have a 10-8 score as we go to the 6th inning.
There's no particular heavy scoring going on in these innings. They're all just putting the occasional run across the line.
And so we'll take a short break, and we'll be back for the top of the 6th inning. It's the Knights 10, the Pioneers 8, live from Farnham Park. Here we go, top of the 6th inning. Knights 10, Pioneers 8. And it's going to be the top of the order. Dan Bello, Casey Pettit-Caster, and Steve Hazard against Wolfgang Walter. That's a strike. Walter has been able to get out of the jams when he's needed it. Knights have played excellent defense. There's a high pop fly, right side, long run. Thomas, and that ball drops. It's in there. Bello stumbles between first and second, but he's going to make it to second anyway and try for third. The ball is still loose somewhere out there, I think. Who's got the ball? And Walter now has the ball. Did Bello be he wasn't obstructed with anyone, was he? I didn't see that.
Pretty sure he just fell over.
He just slipped over. Yeah, you see, he comes swimming into your picture.
Not the four. Where's he at? I think he stays at 3. Oh, no, he's protecting the 4, according to the other side.
And so Bello is on third base, regardless of how you want to score that one. It was a pop fly, and Aaron Thomas and Anna Waring simply could not get there. They were not expecting a fly ball to go to that spot. So Bello is at third with nobody out. Casey Pettit-Caster.
Not much you can do about those pop flies. They have a horrible habit of landing in between everybody.
Yeah.
And then spinning off.
I wonder if Bello was obstructed at first base as he was rounding first base. And that's what he's contending. You know, if obstruction happens on a play like that, the umpires can use discretion and say, well, if he wasn't obstructed with. But I think in this case, because there was no play on him and he had stopped at third, they're just going to say, you stop at third.
Yeah, it would have given him a delayed dead ball.
But he tripped and fell after he rounded first. His falling down had nothing to do with any obstruction. He was contesting that Natalie Woolley had obstructed him at first. Maybe he had to awkwardly change his path as he was rounding the base. At any rate, you don't see it in the video. You just see him fall down and swim into your picture.
He did well to get up so quickly, to be honest, because he went down pretty
And it may not matter in a minute anyway if he crosses the plate after a hit. There's a strike. Casey Pettit-Castor. There's nobody out. Bello at third. That's a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Top of the 6th inning. Here it comes. That's inside. 2-1. Championship game. Coming down to the wire here. And that one is a strike. 2-2 the count. Wolfgang Walter deals. That's outside. Ball 3. Full count. Well, Steve Hazard is on deck. You know what that means. Ball 4.
That's a big walk there.
Well, Hazard has a home run today. He's also hit 2 very hard ground balls. There you see Casey Pettit-Castor. She took the walk. The runner on third base is Dan Bello.
Bases loaded here with Steve Hazard out.
There's a fly ball, deep left field, and kiss it goodbye. A 3-run home run. And the Pioneers take the lead for the first time since the first inning, which was Steve Hazard's last home run. His 2nd home run of the day.
That's your nightmare scenario as a defensive team to have bases loaded and him come up and do that.
Let's watch that on the replay. The sound alone was enough to tell you that it was going to fly out of the ballpark. A loud smack. And Hazard has gone deep twice, and it is now 11-10 as the Pioneers, who won the championship last year, by no means is a 1-run lead safe as Jane Pettit-Castor hits a fly ball to right field for Kelvin Harrison. That's the first out of the inning. And now Dan Spinks.
See if Dan can keep this rolling now. They can get a slightly larger lead on the Windsor Knights.
Neither team has been able to pull ahead. The largest lead at any point was 4-1, or 4-2 rather.
It's been incredibly competitive.
I guess it was, well, it was what, 9-6 at some point? No, I'm thinking of the other game I saw. I saw too many games today. I can't remember. Dan Spinks took a strike. And now he drives one to deep left center field. And see you later. That ball's out of here. 12-10. And suddenly, the home run bats, which we had sort of talked about how quiet they were, unusually quiet. And now they're awake.
They come. Well, if you're having trouble with a strong defense in the opposition, that's one way of avoiding it.
That ball way out of here. So now Jenny Ball. There's 1 out in the inning. It's 12-10. We're in the top of the 6th. The Knights, of course, the home team.
The Knights are going to want to shut this down as quickly as possible here.
Jenny Ball takes a strike on the first pitch. Well, like I said earlier, sometimes you just got to tip your cap. The guys that can hit bombs on bad pitches, not that that pitch was a typically bad pitch, like a bad ball hitter, you know. But
they hit him up. They hit pretty much anything they want.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to really say, like, how can you? There's nothing really you can do. And I mean, Walter himself understands that. There's a fly ball that drops into center field, base hit for Jenny Ball. And we're going to have a Gary Hawksby is going to pinch hit for Sean Spinks.
All right, things heating up here, people.
Jenny Ball at the plate. As he's on first base, rather, Gary Hawksby is going to pinch hit for the Pioneers. He'll pinch hit for Sean Spinks. Adam Haywood out of the dugout, positioning the infield for the Knights, and the pitch is outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Close pitch.
Wouldn't be surprised to see Gary Hawksby go to right field. He'll center right here.
Inside ball 2. Well, the defensive alignment is pretty much straight away against Hawksby. That's a strike, 2-1. And he hits a hard ground ball to the second baseman, Thomas. Flipped to short 1. The relay to first. Double play. 4-6-3. And that ends the inning.
Well, the Knights really needed that right at that moment.
Beautifully turned. However, the Pioneers with 4 runs take a 12-10 lead. We will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. The Knights going to try and play catch-up. What a championship game it's been so far. We'll be right back for the bottom of the 6th here from Farnham Park.
Alright, everyone's using as much of their bench as possible as we get Marlon Kestel, number 4, into hit for Anna Waring.
Marlon Kestel will pinch hit for Anna Waring. That's the 10th spot in the order, 10, 1, and 2. Max Terhusen and Kim Hendry. As the Knights find themselves trailing for the first time in this ballgame since the first inning. 12-10 the score. Bottom of the 6th inning. It's getting late here in Farnham Park, and the pitch is a strike from Dan Spinks.
They should be confident, the Windsor Knights, of coming back here the way they've been playing this weekend.
Sometimes a team that has struggled to get to the championship game, I know they came very close last year. Now they're in it. They seem very relaxed.
Yes, they do actually. Yeah, I don't see any signs of tension.
Because once you make it to the championship, you made it. You're there, and then you can just enjoy it on some level. The worst that'll happen is you come in second. Swinging a foul tip, and that is strike 3. As Marlon Kestel is down on the foul tip. That's the first out here in the 6th. And now Max Terhusen, who has 2 home runs and 3 hits. Back to the top of the order. This one coming right down to the wire, bottom of the 6th. Dan Spinks turns to Sean Spinks in right center field to position him. That pitch, a strike on the outside corner.
Now, if this goes over the fence, it goes over the fence. We don't want anything dropping in front of your outfield here.
Terhusen with a hard ground ball to second, fielded by Bello. Nice soft hands. Quickly 2 down. Boy, those late defensive plays, especially now. I mean, now you're counting down outs.
Yeah, absolutely. You're in the defensive position. The Pioneers here with a couple of runs ahead. Each out counts massively.
Kim Hendry, 2 outs, nobody on. That's a strike on the first pitch.
If Kim can get on here, then we have the potential of Kelvin Harrison coming up behind her here.
A pop fly to short right field, and that ball drops. Dan Bello couldn't quite get there.
It's another
Stays
one of
fair.
those.
Yeah, that's the spot that's been really tough for both teams to cover in this game. That little Bermuda Triangle between Amy Rice, Jane Pettit-Castor, and Dan Bello. So a glimmer of hope. Kelvin Harrison now representing the tying run. Kim Hendry is on first base, 2 outs in the inning. And the pitch. A ground ball towards third, deep third, fielded by Pettit-Castor. Throw to second is in time. Oh, a great play. Casey Pettit-Castor from the outfield grass. She had one chance, and that was to get the force at second, and she did it.
Fielded that from behind her, pretty much. Still made the out.
Now watch this on the replay. No runs. That is only the second half inning in this game in which a team has not scored.
That could be crucial.
It comes at a horrible time for the Knights and a wonderful time for the Pioneers. It is 7th inning time, going to the top of the 7th with the Pioneers leading 12-10.
So we're heading into the bottom at the top of the 7th inning. Pioneers' last chance to pass some more runs on the board and extend their lead. Let's see what the Knights can come up with.
Top of the 7th inning. You can start to hear some of the intensity from all the other teams and fans that have stuck around to watch the high point of this tournament. And it's been a wonderful ball game, 12-10. We've seen home runs. We've seen some really good defensive plays.
Yeah, this is the kind of final you want to watch. Very exciting. Tense for both teams. Either team can still take this.
Amy Rice leads off and looks at a strike. It's 8, 9, and 10 in the order against Wolfgang Walter. There's a fly ball. Left center field, deep, and a catch is made. Lovely catch by Kim Hendry as she raced back just shy of the fence. That's an important first out. That ball was hit very hard off the bat of Amy Rice.
That was a terrific catch. Sun still causing issues out there, but they're handling it very well.
And now Fleeta Chu-Siegel. This is his second at bat in the game. 1 out. In the bottom of the inning, it will be 4, 5, and 6 in the order. Natalie Woolley, Wolfgang Walter, and Lucy Binding. As a ground ball back to the pitcher circle, Walter has it. That's out number 2. Boy, that is huge. You get the feeling that if the Knights are only trailing by 2 in the bottom of this inning,
Yeah,
I mean, it almost feels like it's in their favor.
They'll be very happy if they can come out this without Pioneer scoring. They'll be happy with that.
And Vicky Chapman, 2 outs, nobody on. That's a ball. Too low. That's a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Chapman, I think, would probably take a strike here. Nope. Ground ball to deep short. So who's in fields? Takes his time and throws to first. A 1-2-3 inning. Nothing across the scoreboard for the Pioneers, and we go to the bottom of the 7th. The Pioneers 3 outs away from their 2nd consecutive title. However, the Knights, if they can plate 3,
They've given themselves a chance here.
they would win their first ever. So we'll take a short break, going to the bottom of the 7th, live from Farnham Park. To the bottom of the 7th inning. This is the National Softball League first, the NSL 1 championship game. And Natalie Woolley, Wolfgang Walter, and Lucy Binding due up. Aaron Thomas would be after that. Both teams have just had their respective pep talks Dan Spinks is meeting with his entire infield just to the left of the circle out there. Talking about what they want to do defensively. This is an inning in which every pitch is going to possibly determine the outcome.
This is going to be a close one.
12-10, the Pioneers leading. They won this championship last year. The Knights have never been in this championship, and they're trying to pull off a come-from-behind walk-off victory. Natalie Woolley is 2 for 3. Ben Spinks meticulous in how he positions the team behind him defensively. Woolley taking a look at that positioning, and she's going to try to strategize where to hit the ball. First pitch coming right now. And it's a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. If Woolley would reach, the tying run in the on-deck circle is Wolfgang Walter.
Dan Spinks giving her plenty of time to think about this hit as well. Very smart.
Yeah, your brain can be your own worst enemy when you have a chance to think. There's a comebacker, knocked down by Spinks to the left of the circle, recovers, throws, and he throws it away. And there's a huge collision at first base between Woolley and Jane Pettit-Castor. Pettit-Castor is on her back. Woolley is sitting down, about to stand up, and Pettit-Castor at first base.
Yeah, she's still sitting. I think she's okay. It's one of those you dread where the ball does get away to your glove side. You have to reach for it, and then you're always in chance of contact with a runner. She's just catching her breath.
Well, I want to describe for you what we're seeing. Jane Pettit-Castor is still on her back. It's hard for me exactly to see. Well, I guess we can see on the replay. Well, that is certainly a tough beginning to this 7th inning. She is still on her back.
She's certainly winded at the very least. She hit the ground pretty hard.
She's moving, as you see.
And it's the shock as well. That'll keep you down for a bit.
We're just scrambling to sort of figure out what's happening here. It appears that she is down. Well, she's definitely still down, Jane Pettit-Castor. Don't necessarily want to show you.
She might have hit her head hard as she went down, something like that. And
Yeah.
she's feeling a bit groggy, I would think.
Well, she has not stood up as of yet. She has moved her legs around.
Yeah, they won't let her stand up until they're fully sure that she's all right.
It was definitely a big collision. It would have been a great play had it been made. It was a ground ball back to the pitcher's circle. It kicked off the leg of Dan Spinks and rolled towards the third base side. He very hurriedly picked the ball up and fired it to first. The throw, I think, was a little bit to the home side of first.
Yeah.
And, of course, that pulled Pettit-Castor into the baseline right where Natalie Woolley was running. And all three, the two of them plus the ball arrived at the same time. And both fell down.
There's nothing you can do about it. It does happen, unfortunately.
And right now, we're just hoping that Jane Pettit-Castor is okay. I still can't see. I think she has she has sat up. So
that's a good sign.
Jane Pettit-Castor has at least sat up, and that is a very good thing.
I'm pretty sure she's probably winded, I beg your pardon.
She's smiling as well.
She's laughing, but she's probably, it looks like she smacked her back of her head on the ground as she went down, and that will always keep you down for a little bit. It's just to be on the safe side.
Yeah. And now, now you have a shot of what's happening. It's always good to check to make sure that, we do not, if somebody is injured very badly, sometimes with a camera you want to keep your distance a little bit out of respect. And you can see the huddle around the first base line. It certainly was a tough collision. I guess we can watch the replay of the play one more time.
She's looking pretty okay. But any kind of head injury, just got to take your time with it.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Look at this collision. The throw. Oh yeah, see, that was a direct hit. Well, she's standing up now. And that's a well-deserved round of applause. She's standing up. She's smiling. She's getting an ice pack to the back of the head.
Yeah, she definitely wrapped the back of her head on the ground as she went down. And that ground's pretty hard.
Yeah. Well, we've seen the reaction of ground balls on this hard dirt infield.
And also, when you get knocked over like that, it does knock the wind out of you a bit, and it gives you a little bit of a shock too. So take your time and get back in.
Well,
we'll see if they replace her or not. So it all depends on how she's feeling. But they'll have done all the tests on her.
So there you see she's standing. Dan Spinks to the left. Sean Spinks to the far left with number 84. Amy Rice and Vicki Chapman, along with some other folks that are here helping out. It seemed the mood for a moment looked pretty questionable.
Always a bit scary when something like that happens. You never really know, and sometimes things do look a lot worse than they are, but you can't take any chances.
Here it is one more time. I'll play it for you. She took a while to get up, but she appears to be okay now. As the ground ball kicked off of the leg of Spinks, the throw was definitely the home side, and I mean that's a direct collision.
It's one of those things at first base you do. It's happened to me. It happened to most first basemen at some point or another, where you take a hit, and it always feels pretty bad at first, and just have to take your time to recover.
Well, everybody seems to be smiling, so I guess it's been a team-building moment. But boy, the one thing you do not want to see is a serious injury. This has been, especially for these two teams that have played such a strong game, and she's going to stay in this game.
She's tough, and good work from the first aid team. They're quick in there.
So another pioneer who's lying at home recovering from back surgery, Kim Goff. Hello, we're thinking of you here.
You see Adam Haywood having a chat with the umpires and Dan Spinks, and Jane Pettit-Castor still with a smile on her face.
She'll feel that one tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, the one thing you always worry about when somebody hits their head is if it's going to knock them out completely, or if other less desirable outcomes from that situation might happen. But right now it seems to be the best possible scenario, and that is just that she was shaken up, and certainly thankful for that. I will play it one more time as the two teams are still huddled. Right now the Knights are having a little team meeting in front of their dugout, while the Pioneers are still gathered around Jane Pettit-Castor. I think we are going to get a defensive replacement for her.
I think that's the wise, however much you would like to stay in, I think that's the wise move if you've hit your head.
It's certainly not worth.
Over the next hour or so, she just needs to keep an eye on how that's going.
So now we just need to figure out who's going to play first base. Looks like Amy Rice is going to play first.
There are none down on the night side. I tell you what, people, I just saw a replay of that collision. Jane's very impressive staying on the field. It's very impressive for walking away from that one.
She's not. She's not staying on the field.
What's that? How many outs are we? None.
She's going in there. You jump her and everything. Hold up. Those sorts of things. Yes.
Just for clarification, Jane has come off the field, Amy Rice has moved to first base, and because of the head injury, there's been special dispensation for Liz Keaveney to come back on the field.
You know, that's something that's really nice about this league, and the fact that these players, they all know each other, they're friends. Technically, Liz Keaveney should not be allowed to come back in the game, but you know what? A head injury is not worth, forcing that in a game like this. And so now Keaveney is in left field. Jenny Ball is in right. The first baseman, Amy Rice, and Wolfgang Walter, who represents the tying run. Let's get back to that. It's a 12-ton game, nobody out. Natalie Woolley is at first base. And the pitch is a strike.
And Natalie looks all fine as well. She took a bit of.
I think it's on again. We're good. Man, massive panic attack. We lost the internet connection for a minute, but I think we're back.
And we haven't missed anything.
There's a line shot, left center field. That's a base hit, and it's going to skip to the wall. And this game is tied. Heading to second base with the winning run. Lucy Binding.
Lucy's experience there showing what a fantastic hit at a crucial moment.
Lucy Binding's hit just brought in the tying run. It's 12 all, bottom of the 7th with none down.
Nobody out.
And Kim Miller coming back in the game for Lucy Binding.
Aaron Thomas will step up to the plate with a chance to win the game. Bottom of the 7th inning, a 12-12 tie, nobody out. A golden opportunity for the Knights. And the pitch. That's way outside.
A deep sac fly here or a double.
That one is outside. And 2 balls, no strikes. Lucy Binding representing the winning run at second base. Kim Miller is the runner at second base, rather. Kim Miller is on second base with the winning run. Excuse me, she's pinch running. There's a strike called. Thomas thought it was ball 4. And he gets a good laugh out of his teammates' dugout. So Kim Miller is at the plate. Is on second base, rather. The 3-1 pitch. Fly ball to deep left center field, way back, and it is over the head and up against the wall of the left center fielder. Here comes Miller around third. Here's the throw to the plate. There is none. It's over. And the Knights have won the championship game by a score of 13-12.
Absolutely ecstatic. What an achievement. It was a fantastic game.
Well, the final inning was quite an emotional roller coaster.
I'm exhausted. How about you?
Yeah. What a weekend of softball. What a finish for the Windsor Knights. Their first ever NSL championship. And what a game it was.
Very well deserved. What a fantastic final. Pioneers did their part. It really played well. But wow, they never backed down, the Windsor Knights.
When you look at the line scores, the Knights had 1 inning in which they did not score. The Pioneers had 2 innings in which they did not score. And I guess that sums up this game. It was a back and forth affair. We saw home run after home run from the Windsor Knights. They in fact pounded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 home runs. And they scored 3 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning to walk it off. Congratulations to the Windsor Knights. Congratulations also to the Pioneers for a wonderfully played game. They tried to defend their crown as best as they could. And in the end, the walk-off did them in.
That's the best way, I think, to end a game like that, a walk-off. That's fantastic.
I would like to thank you all for tuning in. Thank you very much, Sarah, for joining me on these broadcasts.
It's great fun.
My name is Tim Collins. Be sure to tune in next time we have a broadcast for you, and subscribe to the Baseball Softball UK YouTube channel. This has been the NSL Championship Weekend live from Farnham Park.